What's up, everybody? Lisa just left me. I don't know what happened to her. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Nyce Kicks on the fashionably late tip, but we are here. Let's see what happened to Lisa. I think put her.
What's up?
I'm like, where'd you go?
As soon as you said, okay, go live, my thing was like, boom.
Like, no, you're not going live today. Okay, well, welcome.
Yes, guys, welcome to Nyce Kicks, another episode Thursday.
Cheers.
Cheers. It is.
What you drinking? I'm being fancy.
I know, I see, and you drinking it out the bottle, so it's not as fancy.
It's a small. Oh, I probably should use a straw, huh?
That actually is cute. Yes. I'm drinking
the whole bottle of Malagra. Okay.
It's leftover.
I like your style.
It's leftover. I'm drinking a little tequila. I had a really rough day today, so I was like, you know what? Let me get a little something hard.
Okay, yeah. No,
I needed it.
Okay. Well, we got the hat vibes tonight.
Yes, girl. You on the mood? You on the mood tonight, boo?
In the mood.
Yes.
My hair is not completely finished. You know, once a month I have the outlet event that I go to on Thursday, so I'll do Nyce Kicks.
Oh, that's tonight.
That's tonight. So I have to get ready for that later. So it's like getting dressed for Nyce Kicks and then get dressed again, or just like make it through Nyce Kicks because I'm currently right now in someone's living room with you, and then like get dressed later. So that's where I'm at with today. But anyone who's just tuning in, we are Nyce Kicks. Sizzle Speaks, Lisa Marie on the hotline.
Yes, so, guys, thank you again. We here. So we're gonna kick it off this evening with what we always do, current events. And we want to talk about DMX. Prayers up to DMX because he is struggling, y'all. The last report I heard was that he's still in a coma and that he's in a vegetative state, meaning his brain function isn't really that well. So he has been undergoing like brain tests that they were doing yesterday and today. I haven't seen anything updated still as of earlier today. But they were saying, he had an overdose, which caused him to have a heart attack on April 2nd. And, they rushed him to the hospital and he's been in a coma ever since. And when you're in a vegetative state, it's very hard because you can come out of the coma. Your brain and your heart are connected, but not really. Mm. So your heart can still go on and pump and you're still like naturally alive. But when you have no brain function, it's a wrap. There's nothing that you can do and come back from that. He has 15 kids.
DMX has 15 kids?
15 kids, it says. 15.
Wow.
And they have all been going up to try to visit, but they've had to go like in due to COVID, they had to go in like separate groups. Right. And they did a candlelight visual outside the hospital for him. So prayers up to him. It's not looking good, but prayers to DMX because he's part of our era. That's our dude.
Right. It's real sad. It's unfortunate. Like, both my parents struggled with drug addiction when I was very young. So I've been around it in a sense. Like my mom she would never like get high in front of her children. She like really cared about where we were and making sure we didn't see that type of stuff, but I knew the effects it has on someone and how someone can be addicted. And it's just really, really sad. Like, the fact that he's even in this place, and it's not even about him being a celebrity, right? It's just as him being a human and like
absolutely
having people around that love you and you're going through that is hard. It doesn't mean that you're gonna come out of it or you're just gonna get off drugs and change. Like my mom loved her kids. She loved her kids back then, but it wasn't enough because she needed to come to the realization that it was no longer serving her in order for her to give it up. So it's unfortunate that DMX is in that place, and I hope he comes out of it. And I only say that because I saw people post like, oh, the people around, et cetera. And I'm like, yo, I've been there. And like, sometimes the people around you, it really doesn't matter. Like, you have to do it for you.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Do it for you. So yeah.
It's not about it's. And when it's an addiction, it's really a disease like alcoholism, mental illness, things like that. Like those are things that you cannot just say, oh, I'm done.
Yep.
You know, it's hard work, and it takes a lot for somebody to really come off of that and be and sustain themselves in their lifestyle with that.
What's crazy is like the day it happened was literally, I remember you telling me, a year after we saw him at House of Blues in Boston.
2 years.
Oh, 2 years. 2 years.
2 years. Yeah, remember last year was a blur.
Oh yeah, last year didn't happen. I completely skipped a year. What's going on, ladies? I see y'all on the line. Tamika and Elsa.
Hey, ladies.
Welcome. Yeah, it's crazy. Other crazy shit, Paul Pierce. He's being fired from ESPN for being on film with some strippers on his live or whatever, recording it. And I saw a clip of the recording.
I saw a little bit.
I posted on my Facebook, like, let Paul Pierce be a lesson, but I posted that with
you got a lot of comments from that.
I know, and it's crazy. It's crazy how much people pay attention and care about celebrities' lives more than they care about mostly anything else outside of something negative, right?
So outside of Nyce Kicks.
Right.
More they care about that than they care about Nyce Kicks.
I got way more comments on this post than I get on almost anything that I post or whatever. But, you know, for me posting that, it was like, there's so many lessons that come out or can come out of that situation. For me, it wasn't about, oh, this should be the lesson that you shouldn't film everything that you're doing or record everything you're doing, especially if you're a celebrity, whatever, so have you. It was really about getting people to a place where they can think about their own lesson in a situation like his, right? Because for some people, it's a lesson in be careful who you decide to work for. It could be a lesson of don't record everything in life. It could be a lesson of something greater might come out of the situation because now he's looking at deals or whatever is happening as a result of it. So, I mean, it's just
what kind of deals?
I think it's something with like
OnlyFans.
I don't know if it's OnlyFans or something with the porn industry. I don't want to misspeak on it.
Oh Jesus!
I forget. It's not at the top of mind right now. With Mark, but yes,
hey Mark.
Comments that I post God, but you know, for me, he looks crazy. He looked like he's on drugs to me.
He
like,
did.
He looked really worn out, burnt out. Like,
yes, he did. He looked very rough. Everybody looked rough. So it was a rough situation. But yeah, I agree with you. It's definitely when you're a celebrity, you have to think. It's unfortunate because you have to think about every step you make, everything you say. And even now, like for us as regular people, I'll say on social media with people within your circles, things like that. It's all about what you got. You have to watch what you're saying, what you're doing. It's crazy, you know. But do you think he should have been fired?
Like for me, I look at it like it's a job, right? So depending on who you work for, there's contractual agreements that you sign off on, and there's like underlying agreements, if that's the correct word, what I'm trying to say, that like you just should know better to put yourself in certain situations depending on who you work for, what's at stake. With the temperature of what's happening right now, or what's been happening, especially with COVID and like all the concerns around COVID, is like, why would you put yourself in that place? But again, we don't know what's going through that man's head. He could possibly not want to work for ESPN anymore and wanted a way out. Like, who the hell knows? Or he could have enough money, he really doesn't care, he was enjoying his life, or he could have been fucked up and like didn't realize what was happening.
Very true. Yeah.
But, you know, I don't walk in his shoes. So for me, it's like, okay, what lesson do I take from it to reflect on what's going on for myself? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, it's crazy how much people care about celebrities more than they care about themselves, or more than they care about the people around them. And people I don't know. So,
crazy.
Mark got the Nyce Kicks for life arm tattoo.
He better, and I need to see that. I need to see that hashtag, post it, all of that.
Yes, love it, love it. So yeah, thank you guys for being here.
Yes.
And tonight's episode is about soulmates and about, you know, how do you know you found your soulmate? Just exploring relationships and soulmates and the, you know, different nuances, because there's a couple of different types of people they say we come across. But we do present this episode with heavy hearts. A near dear friend of ours who is a Nyce Kicker, but also very close to us, Racine, who some of you watching right now may know her. She lost her mom recently, very unexpectedly, and so we dedicate this episode to her because that was her soulmate, like her everything. Her so, you know, our hearts go out to Racine and her family. Yes, and if you're watching the live right now and you would like to support, please click the link in the bio in the description box. That is for the GoFundMe. They have made their goal. However, I mean, again, no money, nothing monetary can ever bring anyone's presence back. But whatever you can do to support the family, even though the goal has met, there's still people on there after funeral services.
Absolutely.
So please support. Please click the link. Do what you can do. It doesn't matter if it's $5, $10, $100, $1,000.
Whatever.
Racine, you're in our hearts right now.
We love you.
We love you so much.
Love you, baby. Yes, love you. Okay. So, in talking about soulmates, this was a very interesting topic that I had put out when I was promoting and putting it out, and the questions I had put out, because a lot of it came back. I was very interested to see what people were saying. I was expecting, I don't know. You know what? I don't know what I was expecting. I feel like people, I think maybe I thought people were going to say, yes, I've met my soulmate. Like a lot of people, because I know a lot of people who are in really great relationships and things like that. But I didn't really get that. I got like a 50-50 kind of split on the whole soulmate thing. And it was very interesting because someone had wrote to me and said, I thought I met my soulmate, but it wasn't the one. And I'm like, damn. And they invested all this time and all of this stuff into this person. They really thought that was their soulmate, but that wasn't the one. So it's a very interesting topic that we talk about this evening.
And go ahead.
Nope, go ahead. And we're both like,
we're like, what? So, all right. So when I was thinking about, okay, what am I going to talk about in terms of soulmate? Because there's so many different definitions, and like the thing that I realized is it all draws back to relationships and being human, and the fact that at the end of the day, I think everyone who's human and has a heart really wants a connection in life, and they want someone that they can share that connection with. And sometimes it's not on the level of maybe this is the person I'm going to marry. You know, so when I thought about soulmates, I'm like, your soulmate can be a dog or like your pet. It could be your best friends. It could be your significant other. But soulmate for me is almost one of those situations where you have someone who understands and you connect with, but they challenge you in this path that you're on to be a better person. As you have what they call like your twin flame. So that's someone who like you have great sexual energy. The chemistry is really good. But the idea around twin flame is like, it takes a long time to come to that relationship. Like someone you might have been in a relationship with, and then like there was some turmoil or something happened, there was a break, and then you come back to that relationship with that person after, you know, the break or whatever the situation may be. And you guys are now connected at a place that just is very different than any other connection you have with anybody.
Yes.
And you also have the karmic like connection and relationships, like karma, right? So for me, when I was looking at that, I'm like, I resonate a lot with that kind of connection and relationships, because those are the relationships that challenge you in a way where it's not comfortable because there's something you need to learn from it. And like that person is in your life to be a catalyst of understanding like something needs to change. And it's like what I'm showing you that needs to change. I'm not your person. I'm clearly not the right person for you, but I'm the person that's supposed to show you what you don't want in your next like relationship. So when I was researching, like, all of this is kind of interesting, and I go back to like soulmate for me is not necessarily someone that I feel like I'm going to end up with in a relationship. It's someone that I have a connection to in a way where I could feel challenged walking my path, and also have similarities with this person as well. And we connect and we challenge each other and we have good vibes, no matter what like the situation is.
And I think that I agree with you on that as well. I think, you know, a soulmate is, I think it's one person that you really are destined to be with in life. Now, Mark, you had said, why did I make that face when she said a pet? Because soulmate is it's a connection with it's a person for me. Yeah. So you know what I mean? Like y'all share same habits. Y'all share. You can't really do that with a pet. So that's why I made that face when she says that. Plus, I'm not really an animal lover. So I'm like, okay.
And we speak from our own positioning and life.
Yes. So that's why I made the face. But I think a lot of times
I lost you.
Am I not here?
Okay, now you're there. We're live.
Oh my God. I'm like, Lord Jesus. When you're in a relationship, you automatically you automatically okay, here we go. You automatically think that you're going to be with this person for a long time, especially if you're in a marriage, right? So when we talk about your soulmate is someone that you're destined to be with in life, that's why I think it's always perceived to be that it's a co-partner. It's whoever you're supposed to be in your relationship. But again, a lot of times don't think of it like it can be a friend. It can be another person that you just have that connection with. But majority of the time, when you are destined with somebody in life, you're spending a lot of your life with this person. 9 times out of 10, it's probably going to be a significant other.
And how you determine like what is a soulmate. And I think that comes to like Mark's point, which is really good. Without research, and I feel the topic of soulmates is based on personal philosophy and beliefs. And that's kind of where I sat in with it, because I'm like, when we were younger, like I remember having cousins or friends very young being like, oh my God, I can't wait this for my husband to be like, this is where I want to live, but I want him to have these characteristics, etc. And that was like the dream, to be in a relationship with someone. So I feel like in terms of naming whatever category, whether it's your twin flame, your soulmate, or it's a karmic relationship, it's really based on how you were brought up in like your belief system in terms of how you view relationships with a significant other. Because like at 39 this year, like I'll be 39 this year, and I feel like in all of my 39 years, I haven't had a significant other that I'm like, wow, this is my soulmate, based on a real romantic relationship, like a very caring relationship. So I got rid of the notion of I need to have this person and they need to be my soulmate and I want this to be the situation, and went back to, okay, what do I need when I get in the next relationship that I'm going to be in? What have I discovered about myself that I'm willing to accept and or not accept? What have I worked on and healed that's important to then walk a path with someone when I'm whole as a person? Like once I'm whole, then I could be with someone else that's whole, right? Like for them to be whole as well. And I feel like that's when two people really are the twin flame or the soulmate, is when they're two whole individuals that can be on their own and walk their own journeys, but when they're together, they make each other even better. And that takes a lot of work and a lot of healing, because most of the relationships I've gone into with past trauma, past baggage. So I was never my whole self, which is hence why I probably never been in a situation where I felt like I had that real, raw, authentic connection with somebody, because I was still working through a lot of things. And the same thing with the other person, right? Because there's an exchange of energy, and they probably were working through a lot of things, and they weren't holding themselves. So it's a whole learning experience. But I do agree with you, like once you know, you know.
And I think, I mean, I've been in romantic situations where I felt like someone was my soulmate. And I think it comes to a point where, yes, when you know, once you think you know, I still feel like there's room for error. I don't think you really know 100%.
What do we know?
We don't know shit.
What do we know nowadays? We don't know much.
We don't know anything. Everything is so crazy. Yes, exactly. And the universe puts us in positions where it's like, okay, you feel this way, you feel so strongly about somebody, and you're like, all right, this is it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to pinpoint that as well, because you may go through a lengthy relationship with somebody and you feel like this is your soulmate, that's the one, whatever the case is, you know that in that moment, you know that over these years, but still that person could just be a season. And sometimes, like in New England, winter lasts a very long time. So it could be a winter in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it just is a long season, many chapters of your book, not just one.
Right.
And that's where it becomes confusing, I think.
Yes. And we're so often taught that relationships are going to be tumultuous. Like, you're going to have a lot of work to do and their process, blah, blah, blah. Where
Always.
That makes us blind to really letting our hearts open and being able to allow in having that natural soulmate connection and having that energy, because we so often can relate to the toxic relationships. We can relate to the trauma and the challenges and like the hard work, not everybody, but for some people. So, when it comes to being energetically connected, I think Mark made a good point. I feel like most people can't find a soulmate because they can't identify their own soul. And that's a lot of the challenges, because we're oftentimes jaded by what society tells us a relationship should look and feel like, and what other people tell us relationships should look and feel like. And we don't have our own inner workings to understand what is it that our soul needs and what is it that our soul identifies with as being a really loving, energetic connection. Like, whether, again, significant other or not, mainly our topic is talking about significant others, but like, what does that feel like to just really have an open heart and feel love unconditionally? And when it means unconditionally, like, I feel like our love that we have for each other is on some unconditional shit. Like, it don't matter what happens. We could be fucking angry at each other. We work through it. Like, we never held a grudge for long enough to feel like, yo, like, I'm never speaking to her again.
Absolutely.
Like, never. And
no.
And that's major. Like, you don't really find that with a lot of people, where you just click, like the puzzle piece fits. You think the same thoughts that I think at the same time. It's insane. So I can only imagine having that moment with a significant other would be great. Granted, we have our differences, right? But that's what makes us who we are. Like, we have times where we're like, nah, I don't agree with you. We don't agree on things a lot. But at the end of the day, there's no turmoil behind it. Like, we work through those scenarios, which is awesome.
Right. So Edgar said, I thought, and it's funny, Edgar, you said that. I thought I had a soulmate till I found out they weren't. He was actually the person I was talking about earlier that responded to one of the posts that had said that. So now he's saying he's more practical when it comes to relationships now. But when you mean practical, right? What does that mean outside of, so you're practical now? What were you prior to that? What was it prior to you now being practical in a relationship? And at what point did you decide that's my soulmate? And then at what point did you decide, nah, B, that's the wrong one? Because there's different like points in that.
Right.
So I'm interested to hear, or to see what he has to say about that. Mark, getting to know oneself has nothing to do with outside relationship. Absolutely. I feel like you attract a soulmate, not find one. I think that's 100%. In anything. You attract everything in life. You attract friends. You attract relationships. You attract money. You attract all of that. So everything that comes into your life, into your universe, is an attraction. I feel that very wholeheartedly. You find something you lost. I'm
and I
wilding.
think that's like what the no, don't stop. I love the comments.
Yes.
But I think that you found something you lost is back to like what I was researching when it came to the twin flame situation, because you know everyone relates to, like, some people use twin flame and soulmate interchangeably. But what they were saying with like twin flame, like you have that attraction, you have the sexual energy, and then you have a breakdown, but then there's a connection that comes back. But that span for a twin flame is very long. So the idea is like you find that person when it's almost your time to no longer be present on earth. Crazy, but like, cause like I don't want to be in that place right now. Like I don't want it to be over. That's why I haven't found my twin flame.
Wait, so you find them in the afterlife?
Not that you find them in the afterlife, but you find them after a long period of time. So it's almost like your time is
like you're about to, like your old age, you've been married, you've had kids, and you're like, oh my God.
Probably. Who knows? But again,
we were meant to be. Because there's stories like that. And there's a show, it's an older show that was on the OWN network. And it's called Black Love. They are still, it's still in syndication right now on Hulu. And, you know, there's a lot of couples, Black couples on there that talk about, you know, their relationships and their situations of how they feel like they're meant to be, and, you know, all the trials and tribulations of marriage, and just having Black love and feeling like that they were the ones for each other. So if you guys have never watched it, go check it out. Again, it's on Hulu. They are syndicating it on there. So, excuse me. It's a great show to look at for that, because they talk some real stuff on there. And it's people we know. There's celebrities, there's non-celebrities. And, you know, they've been married for different, you know, times, 4 years, 13 years, 23 years. But it's interesting to see like how they go through accountability in a relationship, how they go through, you know, traumatic experiences, infidelity, all of that stuff.
Right. So it makes me wonder, and like, I don't know the answer to this, and I could just be talking, but when it comes to like situations with marriage, you know, back in the day, marriages would last a very long time. Like there was, the divorce wasn't a thing. It was just people stay married for a long time. So I wonder if the influences that we see, whether it's social media, our friends or whatever it may be, was the same back in the day as it is now. And that is part of kind of why we see a difference with divorce rates now than we did back in the day.
I think there's more
people marry who they think they should marry, and it's not the one.
I think there's more of a sense of independence within women and within men now, where so much more is in the forefront of our lives, of our everyday life, when it comes to careers, money, you know, a whole bunch of stuff, right? You're able to do a lot of things. And then many years ago, there were so many stigmas and so many judgments behind that. And it was more of a, you know, the generation where it's like your grandmother, like they stuck together. They went through it where they cheated in relationships and they've stayed. And I think, again, the sense of independence and the sense of really knowing what you want for yourself and not just for your family or for someone else is more apparent now and more talked about. So I think that's why the divorce rate is a lot higher. But I also think that people rush into marriage as well. It's a big commitment. You know, it's a big commitment. It's just as being as committed as having a child or buying a house.
Yeah, and Mark said because women weren't empowered back then, they had much less of a say, which makes total sense.
Exactly.
So Edgar, to answer your question earlier, said, before I was enamored by the beauty and physical, now we need to have a vibe along with the physical. In the past, I would let shit slide because she may have been fine or the poom poom was good. And yeah, I mean, that's real. That's real.
Yeah.
I feel like men need to, well, let me be careful how I say this. I don't want the men coming for me.
Yeah, because you know, you're known for the male basher, right?
On here.
You are.
I'm not a male basher. I love my men, but I feel like there's a moment for men to have more of that feminine masculinity come out, right, and be open emotionally for women, so that they can build better relationships and it not just be about the beauty or the physical. Because it is so apparent with some of them that it really just is the surface, and there's nothing beyond that, or not emotionally available. And so that's hard for women because we're the complete opposite. So then you don't really get that connection because you don't have the availability on that end. And then it doesn't work out. And the guy just goes on about his business and feels how he feels and gets into another relationship and deals with the same shit.
And there's beauty and physical beauty in many, many, many women. So, you know, and there's a lot, and there's a lot of good poom pooms out there as well too. But I think that
coming on the next episode of Nyce Kicks, the level of
good poom poom. Yes. So I think that when you're looking at your soulmate, it's someone that you really kind of have a best friend connection with, someone that you can talk to about anything and everything, and it just be cool, chill. And it's really the intellectual. Like for me, I'm someone that it's the intellect part. Like that mental stimulation is freaking out of this world.
Right.
Like if you can stimulate me mentally, oh my God, that's just great. Because that is very hard to get rid of. You know, that's something that's innate in a person. When someone's very smart and they're articulate and intelligent, like you can't find that in a lot of people. And that's sad to say, but it's true.
Right. Yeah. The vibes definitely don't lie, and the vibes are everything when it comes to just relationships in general.
Right.
Whether it's a friendship or someone you're thinking about for your significant other, is really about how you feel around that person. Like, can you be your true, authentic self, and vice versa? And if you have that, then the sky's the limit, because you build everything else based off the foundation of the friendship. Yes. And a friendship starts with trust, or any relationship should start with trust, ideally. And if you can trust someone, I know for myself, if I feel like I'm judged, I shut down. Like,
yes, you do.
Shut down. And like, that's something over the years I've tried to work on, because it's very hard for me in terms of communicating. I don't know if it's a Gemini thing or if
it is
like me, but
I think it's a Gemini trait too.
Yeah, like when I'm communicating with someone, if I feel any like inclination that I'm being judged, the conversation kind of just changes and I don't open up completely. So when I get around someone, and it's very far few in between that I've had this experience, I can just be myself. Like, I could be goofy, I could be like, I could say something that just really doesn't make any sense, and you're like, what school did you go to? And it's fine. Like, you work like, to feel comfortable at that level is like nothing else. Like, you really don't want for anything else. And to also have someone who supports you and like bigs you up all the time, and like believes in you sometimes more than you believe in yourself. It's like all of those elements are great. And then if it's a significant other and you have that sexual chemistry, like that's the what do you call it, the cherry on top. The icing
that has to be there. Like, that has to be there.
Forget it. Sign on the dotted line of a fake piece of paper, but whatever. Like,
I'm like, that has to be there. I don't know. That definitely got to be there. Yes.
So Mark said, I feel the idea of a soulmate and marriage together is pushed on people to have likes, push on people like it is a goal without understanding each of the dynamics. Yeah, that's rough. I'm thankful, like in my family, my mom, she's never like pushed marriage on me, but she also wasn't married. So I don't know if that plays a part.
I think it does. Yeah.
Only thing she pushed on me to have a damn kid, and I'm like, lady, no.
My mother pushed on me not to do anything. She told me to run the streets. She didn't tell me to be no hoe, y'all. But she told me.
I'm like, you gotta clarify what.
I know, right? I'm like, she didn't tell. Poor Anita. I saw her today too. I'm like, she didn't tell me to be no hoe, but she told me run the streets, honey, because you got to get out there. You have to experience. You need to be you know, you got to live your life. You're beautiful. This is what you have to do. She was like, marriage is not it. It's just a piece of paper. She was like, don't you be going having all of these kids. When I had MJ, the first one, she was like, okay, that's great. That's one. That's enough. I'm an only child. So, I mean, clearly. Had the second one, you know, most grandparents are like, yay, more kids. Da, 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 da. She was like, oh, no. No. Are you done after this? I'm like, Anita
wasn't married either, right? She was just with your
She was not. She was like, I'm married common law. I was with him for such and such years. Like, that's all you need. You don't want to share nothing. Da, 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 da. My mother was very like 100%. I'm like, no, I want the white picket fence and the 6 kids and the walk down the aisle and my mother was like, no, sis.
Yeah. And I'm marrying my soulmate is definitely a
popular phase.
That's what I'm like. If I end up with someone that I just connect with and like it's my twin flame, my soulmate, whatever you want to call it, and we just exist in a space that we're happy, like that's all I need.
I agree.
I'm not interested in all the other stuff being mandatory. Like if it happens organically, because like that's just what happens based on the relationship and fine.
Right.
But like I don't walk into it with that. Okay, this is what has to happen. I have to get married. I have to have these many kids, and like this is it. But I do feel like I've gotten into situations thinking that they were the one, not like soulmate, but like this is the person I'm gonna end up with. This is the person I'm gonna have a kid with. Like this is great, and it was like you're covering up a lot of the trauma that you haven't dealt with.
Yes,
to make this person someone else, and that's not
and I think too, I think sometimes men get into, from my experience, men get into situations, or they've gotten into situations with me. Again, this is my experience. So I've had men that got into situations with me, and they haven't dated someone that was like me. So they were very like, this is the one, blah, blah, blah. I've been proposed to 3 times, and they feel like, okay, but then when you don't share that, okay, you're not the one for me. Like, how does that work? When someone thinks you're the one, but you don't think they're the one, that's odd. That's awkward, right?
Can we not talk about that on this episode?
This is the episode. Like, you're the one, baby, but no, boo, you're not. Like, that's rough. It's very heartbreaking.
Because everything is clicking at the moment. All of a sudden, the term soulmate starts creeping up. Yeah, when it's clicking, everything feels good.
Yeah, like, yo, that's it. Ooh, this is the one. This is it. Like,
maybe not.
Nabby.
Maybe it's not the one. Yeah,
Nabby.
I'm not trying to be somebody's soulmate that they're not my soulmate, because that's rough. I don't want that responsibility.
I mean, I think the best thing is to be honest with them and just say, for most of it, it's not you, it's me, because normally that's what it is. And in those situations, it's not you, it's me. It's usually always me. I'm Anita's daughter, so yeah, that's rough. I think that, good. Huh? What'd you say?
Prosecco is very much needed right now.
Clearly, because you're like this. And I need a mixer, but I'll just drink this straight right now because I'm out. It's in the fridge. So, go ahead, me.
No, go ahead.
I
keep playing with this hat. I need to not wear a hat on this case.
One of the things that there was for the soulmate thing, which I think that I've been in, and I'm like, one of the things was how you know someone is the soulmate is when you fight for their relationship.
When you fight for the relationship with the person?
When you fight for the relationship.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
See, I do.
I feel like it's soulmate. There's no push. There's no pull. It's not.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that's too easy. It's not that easy though.
But I feel like love is easy. Love.
Oh my God, me! You've never been in love, done. Never. Holy moly, she's never been in love, guys. There's no way. Love is not easy.
I've loved a few people.
Okay, love is easy because that's the natural feeling from your heart. The relationship, the day-to-day is not easy. It's not.
See now you're speaking in the way of what we've been conditioned to believe.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I don't think any relationship is easy. Ours is not easy. And I feel like me and you got one of the bombest relationships I've ever seen.
Nothing in life is easy, right?
We have to still work on our friendship, and we still have to work with each other. Yeah. So it's still a thing. And I think we've been in situations where we've had to fight for a relationship. Now, I'm not saying like all out fight, whatever. But
we had to put our ego aside.
Yes, we've had to fight for it and be like, you know what? No, this is my best friend. Like, I'm not going to one of us has had to man up or mature up in the situation and be like, nah, we're not doing that. Or let's have this conversation. So for me, I consider that fighting.
Yeah. So I guess what I want to change is like the easy and the hard.
Right? Okay. So what adjectives would you like to use?
That's what I think about. Because again,
like which adjectives are we using?
Words are triggers, right? Because there's been episodes of Nyce Kicks, and I've said it before, like the shit's not easy, being in a relationship is not easy, blah blah. But now it's okay, how do we change the term from easy and hard? Because like nothing in life is easy and nothing should be easy. If it's easy, it's not worth it.
Challenging.
Almost like it's a learned experience. Like being in a relationship is a learned experience.
I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Because words are triggers. Like for some people, if you say pussy, that's a trigger for them.
Trigger for what? Pussy what?
For something. For some people, like if you say fuck, that's a trigger for them.
No.
It's work. Okay, so I can go with Edgar, and he says it's work. Like relationships are work. Friendships are work. Parenting is work. Like, yes, it's work.
Everything is work. Shit is not easy.
Yeah, no, shit ain't easy.
This shit is work right now.
This shit is a 9 to 5 for sure. Facts on facts, no cap. Take the cap off. But so I guess what I'd like to experience is when you have that person, you have a certain flow.
Yes.
Like you don't have the push and pull like you do with, again, maybe it's the soulmate and that's the challenge, like they're challenging you. So
but you know what? It's situational shit, isn't it? Don't put that as the clip tomorrow.
Work doesn't mean growth. I agree with that.
It's situationally. How much should I say this? It's situational shit. Y'all, I need help with this. You better not use this as the clip tomorrow. I know you is. Okay, it's
I'm gonna use it with that same part. I know you is.
Okay, there's situations, right? Because in any relationship, you have children. That shit fucks up your whole groove, whatever you were saying, the flow. That shit fuck up the whole flow. You buy a house, there's financial differences. Someone loses their job. Girl, that messes up your whole flow, whether you soulmate or not.
I don't know.
I know.
I haven't been there, so I don't know the experience from that level.
And that's where I say about the fighting for the relationship piece. That's why I say, one of the examples is someone quit smoking because it's important to the other person. So that's like a health factor. And it's like, I really want you to stop. That's like you telling me, and I still ain't. So
are we soulmates or not? Because you have not.
But you're fighting for me to do so, right?
I mean, I gave up that fight. I gave that shit up 4 or 5 episodes ago. No. It's too much energy. You're going to do what you want to do anyway. Not doing it.
No, I can't. 4 episodes ago. You know what? I'm all set. But we're still soulmates.
Okay.
She's not fighting for me, y'all.
You are a hard person to fight. Trust me.
No.
You don't want to do it. Like I said, Lisa be knowing. Lisa be on Google heavy.
Girl, bye. Google my ass. Literally.
See, we can challenge each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mm-mm.
Okay. So wait. So have you found your soulmate?
Who? Are you asking me?
Yo, you had like 8 who's in there? There's like an owl in the room. I'm confused. Who?
Me?
You.
Me? I don't know. I'm gonna say that.
Okay. Okay.
I don't know.
Okay, that's great.
That's great.
That works.
Okay, what about you?
Nope.
Good. Okay. She's straight. No.
Straight
but
no.
I do feel like we have a soulmate connection because
we're
I deal with so much bullshit with so many other people, and I'm like, yo, I don't deal with this with me. Like me, it's again, it is that flow with us. Mm-hmm. Even though all of the other stuff in between, there is that flow with us, and I'm like, there's no way. Now, I don't know if y'all believe in psychics or any of that stuff. So a while ago, I saw a psychic. I've seen a couple of them over my lifetime, and they have told me some things that's come up and happened. And the psychic had told me that my soulmate was in my aura at the time. And it wasn't Stacy.
That bitch lied.
It wasn't Stizzo.
She lied.
So it was very, very interesting because she's like, I feel your soulmate. And she told me some shit. And I'm like, okay. But I don't know if I believe her.
I told you she lied. I don't believe them either. And she said it wasn't me. How am I supposed to believe her? There's no way. There's no way.
I hope he ain't watching this, Lisa.
Might be.
That's funny.
Nope, that psychic lied. But again, I think maybe
that psychic lied. I paid her good money. She didn't lie. She told me about some other stuff too that happened.
Maybe it was the energy she was feeling at the moment, but I don't know. I think end all be all. I don't know if we should go into a space of wanting or desiring a soulmate versus wanting and desiring to be 100% whole as individuals and whole with our souls, and then be open to accepting what happens as a response to our energy being whole. That's the best way I can put it.
I agree. We shouldn't go into it saying like, my soulmate is still out there. I need my soulmate. Blah, 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 blah. But I do believe that there is one person really designed for you. Like cut 100% designed for you. I really do believe that.
Yeah. I mean, I believe that too, in a space that knowing we're here and we're walking in a purpose of what should be love and abundance. Like there has to be someone else that you are destined to give your love and abundance to. Right. And like all the trials and tribulations that you go through in relationships leading up to who that person is there to prepare you, right? Is there to put you in a position where you learn to heal your traumas, but you learn what your traumas are to begin with, to even know what you need to heal. But like even healing traumas, like there's so many times like I feel like, okay, I thought I worked on that already. Like, why am I back in this place? Like, why am I facing you right now again? Like, why am I dealing with trust issues?
Because it takes work. It takes work. It's like a PTSD. It's like PTSD. Right. You got to work through it because it's continuously coming back. You know, that trauma, it's just coming back and it's coming back and it's going to come back in many different avenues. And you're like, damn, like I got to face this again. Because when it's something like that in the trauma is very hard. You know what I mean? Yeah. The word itself sounds scary. Trauma. Like it just sounds scary. So it's something that you gotta like really, really, really keep working on.
Yes. Which is, what I think life puts us through. And, there's somebody right now that I feel like a great situation, connection, like pure, authentic, whatever the case may be. But who knows, like, what the ultimate purpose is for that situation.
Uh-huh.
Right? It's like maybe I'm being prepared still at 38 this year, 39, or like maybe the twin flame is going to happen next year. Like who we don't really know. I guess the best thing I could say is to just be aware of the things that trigger you, the things that you want to work on. Be aware of when you see like similarities in terms of your relationships and things that you attract. Like if you're attracting the same type of person that's causing that harm or causing that trauma, like that's an indication that there's something that you have to heal and really pay attention to and work on.
Yes.
Because it's karma speaking, right?
Yes.
So I think all in all, if you haven't found your one or your person, or maybe you don't even believe in that, but if you don't feel like you have an energetic connection to anyone, it may be a moment where you're processing and you're working on your you, and that's okay. Because I think oftentimes people get on themselves a lot behind not being in a relationship or not being perfect or not being in a situation where they have that happy family, and like they get
the older you get, especially if you're not, there's people who are our age and like yourself, they're
call me old on live.
I said our age, like you,
like yourself, because
I didn't say
you're
old. I said our age. I'm the same age, our age, right? That they are not married, they have not had children. And it's that, I believe, is such an old way of thinking, because not everybody wants to do that. Not everybody wants to have kids. Not everybody wants to get married. Not everybody's destined for that. And that's okay. And even if it was at 45, then it's at 45. Right. And we have women like Tracy Ellis Ross, Oprah Winfrey. We have women who are okay with that and stand up for those things and say, nah, like, I don't need to get married. I don't need to have children. That's not what they feel like is going to complete their life, versus someone who is like, oh my God, I'm almost 30. I need to have kids. I need to get a house. I need to do this, blah, 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 blah. And then I feel like a lot of times people who are rushing to do that feel that they're kind of stuck in this like ditch. Right. Where you can't get out of now, because it's not necessarily something you wanted. It's something that society told you that should be happening at this time.
Yeah. I think, all I really want is my connections to my people.
I thought she was going to say something totally different.
Nope. I'm grateful for everyone who really walks with me in this life. Like, I'm grateful for anyone who's to come that I haven't met yet. I'm grateful for everyone that I recently met and like that are really like a part of my puzzle, and hopefully I'm a part of theirs and I fit equally as great. And I hope that everyone finds that moment where they just get unconditional love and support out here, because life isn't easy and life cannot be done alone. No. And so, yeah.
Not at all.
That's my final thoughts.
That is the final thoughts.
I was like, well, did you freeze?
Nope. That's all we got for y'all guys. So I would love to know, shoot us a DM on our IG or shoot us a comment on here on this episode. Let us know, have you found your soulmate? And if so, how do you know? Let us know. Let the viewers know. How do you know? I think a lot of people are interested in hearing how someone else's situation is, and how they feel like they've gotten to that point.
Oh, facts.
And make sure you guys subscribe.
Yes, we hit over 100 subscribers on Monday, or this past Monday, I think. So thank you to everybody who subscribes to the channel. Thank you everybody who kicks it with us every fucking week. We appreciate you guys dearly. We hope to see you on next week's episode of Nyce Kicks. You know where to find us, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on YouTube. We are live. Thank you to Edgar, Mark, Elsa, Tamika, everyone who commented.
Thank you guys.
Live. We appreciate you guys. Love you much. Mate, you already know what time it is.
Love you, boo. Have fun. Be safe. See y'all next week.
Peace.